Hi, welcome back to another video. This is only the second video on this channel. When the sirens stop. I was just walking along through the highlands, through the very remote highlands as well, as you do. And I thought, maybe I'll make another video. So yeah, a story cropped up in my mind, not a story, a job that I did as a paramedic in the ambulance service. And I thought I would share it with you. But before I do that, let's show you around. So I'm actually walking along the Glen Affric Way in the western side of Scotland, Western Highlands. I'm out with a couple of friends. We've spent the night in a bothy and now we're making our way out of the hills. We've got about a 7-mile hike. The weather's not so good, very wet. It's November. I'll show you back down the valley. Yeah, this job, I keep saying story, it's not a story. It's what happened. I got called to this gentleman. He was about 50 years old and he'd been to the doctors just an hour previous to me arriving, and he'd been to the doctors complaining of pain in the back of one of his legs, one of his lower legs, and the doctor had given him some pain relief. Checked him over, given him some pain relief, and sorry about the wind noise here. And by the time he walked home, the short walk home, the pain was so bad, his wife called 999, and that's how I got involved on a rapid response vehicle. So I turned up. He was upstairs in his bedroom. It was a spiral staircase. Oh, I remember that. Don't see many. And to a paramedic's point of view, they're a nightmare to get people down. I made contact with him, had a chat with him. He was fully conscious, complaining of severe pain in the back of one of his lower limbs, and it was getting worse. I took his observations. They were kind of normal, really. But I thought you've seen the doctor, severe lower pain in his limb. You can't rule out a DVT, which is a deep vein thrombosis. So I called for an ambulance backup to take him to hospital. Within a few minutes of me doing that, he started to deteriorate very rapidly. To set the situation, his wife was there, as I said. His kids were there as well. They were like, 12 years old, 14 years old. Obviously very concerned. Something wrong with Dad. And yeah, he started to deteriorate. The pain increased. He started to feel unwell. I remember he just used the word unwell with me. I did his blood pressure again, and his blood pressure had dropped and was still dropping. Fortunately, there was an ambulance on the way. To cut a very long story short, well, it wasn't that long, it was probably about 20 minutes. Within 20 minutes, he's critical. He went unconscious and then he went into a cardiac arrest. As he went into a cardiac arrest, the actual ambulance turned up. So fortunately, that meant there was 3 of us to carry out a resus. It was indeed a deep vein thrombosis, I'm sure. And obviously the clot had probably moved to his lungs, and then caused all sorts of problems. And in my experience, when that happens, no matter how good your resus, you cannot get these people back. And that's what happened that day. We were going to take him to hospital, resus him on the way. I mean, 50-year-old guy. You had to give it everything you had. And he was a big guy. Somehow we got him down the spiral staircase very unceremoniously. And we got him out into the ambulance. But he triggered our protocols to stop resuscitation. Yeah, so we stopped resus. And then I went and told the wife. And the kids were there. Not easy, but worse for them than for me. Definitely. It was a sad story. A sad story of someone so young. Age shouldn't make any difference, but it does. It does make difference. Because if he was 90, it would have been totally different. I know life's precious at all ages. But he had his wife and kids there. Yeah, that was one of the sad stories. I think that's 2 sad stories I've done now, so we could do with a more light-hearted one, shall we, on the next video. The last one was while I was paddleboarding near a home. This one up in the Highlands of Scotland, in one of the most remote places in the UK, if not the most remote place. And well, the next one, well, I don't think I can beat this really. I'm not sure. So yeah, until the next one, if anyone's got any stories to share, feel free. And yeah, catch you later. Hope you enjoyed the scenery.